Hey guys, welcome back to Ralph's Rotten Rust. I thought I'd bring you along a little bit here. I've been working on the old 68 F250. The valve stem seals on it are, well, junk. I don't know if you can see. Bits and pieces so far from the other side, and I'm working on the pad driver side right now. But again, don't know if you can see. I'm leaning over the radiator of the truck. But yeah, this is one of the originals. It's a brick. But been finding little pieces. It would start smoking. Past experience, I had an old Ford car that had a 351 Windsor in it, and one day it started smoking out of one side. Long story short, ended up figuring out that the valve stem seals were dried out, crispy. Luckily, ran like a dog out tonight, so good night to work on it. What I've already done is I like to take a socket. Works pretty well. I don't have the socket, the one I used, but you can lay it over the keeper and give her a tap, and that'll kind of break everything loose. And yeah, so anyway, I've got this over the, I don't think they call it an over the valve. I've had it for a long time and rarely ever used it. But I already did the other side of the truck, the passenger side. So just thought I'd bring you along. And always a good time working in grease. These work pretty well, actually. You got to get everything lined up. I try to go to the bottom coil, or the farther, not the very bottom, but close to the bottom. And you line the top up with the top of the spring. Crank it down. And then, well, before I get going though, I almost forgot. You see this rope, every guy does it different. Some guys use air. They'll get an adapter, they'll go into the spark plug holes. Yeah, I know, I can't, you're not seeing anything, but it doesn't matter. I mean, there's nothing to see. They will, it's basically a hose with an adapter. You can also use like a compression gauge and screw the end of it in. I've always had good luck with just using a rope. This is not my idea. A lot of people do this, or a lot of guys do this. But if you think about the piston moving up and down the cylinder or in the bore, and then you put the rope on top of the piston at, say, halfway of the piston stroke, then when you turn the motor over, turn the engine over by hand, it pushes that rope up against the bottom of the valves and holds the valves so they won't drop down in. Some of these, I don't know, I think I read somewhere that this is an FE motor, Ford FE. It's a 360, that the valves won't even drop in the cylinders. But if you don't have something, when you take everything off the keepers and everything off the top of the valve could drop down the cylinder. So I already put the rope and done the first one, so we're going to crank it back around. All I'm doing is turning the fan, and to take a little bit of pressure off that rope. This is on the first cylinder that I've already done. This is just some old polyethylene, I don't know. Yellow rope, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody had given this to me. I don't know if you can see anything. Can you see anything at all? I don't know. Hard to tell. And then what I do, or what I did, seems to work okay, is I'll take my stick. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. I'll take my stick and I put it down on top of the piston. And then if you rotate which this may not work because I got the rocker shaft back on the other side and trying to push valves down. The belt's spinning, I think. No, it's working. Bring the piston all the way up to top. I put a marker on it from the other side just so I had something to reference. There's the bottom one. All the way up. And then you can go, I usually just eyeball it and go down about halfway. Half of the stroke, give or take. Good enough. And then take the rope, stuff it in the spark plug hole, and you just kind of feed her in there. Keep going until you can't get any more in there. Again, you can use compressed air and with the adapters and all that. Nothing wrong with that. It works fine. I don't know. Tonight it's kind of a crappy night. No chances of our power going out, which would mean I would lose my compressor, which means I would lose the air, which means if indeed these valves were to drop, again, I read somewhere, I'm not an FE expert by any means, but I read that if the piston was at the bottom of the bore and the valves were to drop out of the head, obviously they would go down the cylinder, and then I don't want to pull the heads off this truck. So hopefully you can hear me. Got the microphone away from me a little bit. So we just kind of keep, can you see anything? Oh, yeah, you can see the back of my hand. Kind of keep stuffing rope in there. We're having a doozy of here in the Midwest, a doozy of a rain band blowing through, and been raining all afternoon and evening. I'd say that's probably good enough. And then we'll try to rotate. What you want to do is rotate the, maybe. We have to get a ratchet on this. I can't tell. Yeah, there we go. You could feel I'm using just spinning it by hand with the fan. When it spins around to a certain point that it stops. And it feels kind of squishy, so you're up against the rope, holding the valves, the bottom of the valves closed. Let's continue on. Almost forgot. Hold the little adapter, or the spring compressor. Bring them up until, I don't know if you can see this or not. And then what I'll do, yeah, kinda. Sorry, I gotta rotate this so I can see it. And take the top. Give that a little bit of a smack. That'll drop the is that a retainer? Yeah. Down far enough to be able to get the keepers out of it. I got a magnet. No. Got the keepers out of it. Pull the spring and the retainer off. As you can, might check, see. Yeah. There's here's what's left of the dried up crispy valve stem seal. I found a lot of it in the return holes, which are down here in the end of the heads. It's probably down the bottom of the pan too. And yeah, it's maybe sucked it up into the screen on the oil pump, I don't know. That might be the next project when I get this done, is to drop the oil pan. And I know for sure it needs gaskets, or gasket. It leaks like a sieve around the pan. I ended up in the last couple weeks, and I didn't bring it along because, quite honestly, it's boring, and quite honestly, it's under the truck and kind of hard to film and see what you're seeing. But I ended up resealing the transmission in it, put a shift kit in it for fun. I mean, $20 as a Transco? Yeah, Transco. What I used in another truck, and really like the way it shifts. It's firm. You can set them on 3 different levels. There's like a, I don't remember what the levels, what they called it, but kind of the firm one, and then the medium one, and then a bottom one, which is just supposed to be quick. But yeah, really like that. There we got the spring and everything inside the tool. And you just back that off till the spring relaxes and you get all the parts. I'm feeling kind of stupid right now. A little bit. Yeah, anyway, so there's the spring, and of course it's got a damper inside. Not bad. The tops of the tips on the other side, a couple of the valves were pretty scrubbed off, but I'm not going to change. It's not going to change. I'm not going to do anything with it right now. I'm not pulling heads or anything like that. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I guess the goal is to drive it to town one night or one day. That's just the goal. That's a pretty simple goal, right? I'm not going to do a bunch of work to it as far as body and all that right now. I'm too old. I don't particularly have a lot of interest in restoring and taking the cab off and doing all that goodness right now. I just don't. I have other projects I'd rather work on. I'm only doing this to see if I can get it to quit smoking. And the old girl, the original owner in it died. The truck's a 68. What I found online, he's not super far away from us, is he died in 78. So he had the truck about 10 years. And then, I have no idea who bought it in between, but it's pretty obvious they didn't take care of it, or just do simple maintenance on it. Or at least I don't think so. Tap that down. There's one. There's 2, maybe. Don't want to drop them. Magnet works really well. Any kind of magnet. Well, magnet on a stick. For getting these little pieces off without dropping them. I do try to keep everything the way it was removed. So keep the springs to go back where it was. Probably, I don't know. I think, hey, we got an original 1968. As far as I know. Late 67, December of 67, I believe it was. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Valve stem seal. I have no reason to believe that this has ever been removed. As crispy and as hard as they are, and see, it's like a brick. I mean, there's no flexibility to it at all. They get hard, they break, and yeah. Yes, I know. I'm just putting the OE umbrella seals back on it. I'm not messing with yes, I know you can put positive valve stems and all that out. Seals, no desire, no interest. These work fine. A lot of that, yeah, that's kind of gross. A lot of that has to do with just maintenance, and things get old, you know. So my brush has got a lot of grease in it. Where'd you get off there? Yeah, that's neat. I was trying to get the carbon. No, I can't do that. I'm wiping grease back on it. Take that little dabble of grease off and, I don't know, wipe it on my rag, I guess. Huh. Oh, that dude's really plugged. Let me get another brush. I'll be right back. Just cleaning the carbon out of the top of those valve grooves. Where the keepers go, they got nasties in there. Like I said, the long term, I don't have any long term goals for this truck. I just want to get this done, basically get it out of the barn. And as I told the missus, I'd like to be able to drive it about 9 miles to the gas station, put some gas in it. If it'll make it back home, great. And then from there, I don't know, a lot of the things that need to be done and stuff that I want to work on. So what I'm going to do, you saw what I wanted to share. Kind of grody in here. I might do some cleaning here, and it's kind of boring to watch. The whole thing's probably boring to watch. There's just a lot of sludge and, what you would expect out of an old engine. I don't have any towels over here. Yeah, I know there's probably some guy out there right now saying, "Oh, don't do that. Leave it alone, because it'll go down and fill up the." And it might, but to be honest, I'm not going to leave it in there. I mean, we're not going crazy here, but we're just going to wipe some of this nasty shit down and. Neato. What's that say? 7L. That's the date code for the head, and I can't read the 7L. Looks like 7L10. Where that associates to. I don't have any paper towels right handy. Clean that up a little bit, and then I'll worry about it later. So anyway, that's what it was. Just when I work back through, what I do is I go to try to keep this stuff in order and not make a big mess. I can take the other ones off now, but so yeah. Thanks for watching. Oh, you shitting me. Hello? Are you shitting me? Never mind.